What you're looking at is a 17-year-old kid named Joe. This kid has managed to secure over $500,000 worth of sneakers for himself. Here he is again, surrounded by hundreds of Yeezy 350
Those
boots.
things are going for a lot of money.
And again, in a warehouse full of sneakers most resellers could only dream of.
I just needed to come by. I'm looking for Yeezys.
Back in the day, you would see people camped overnight outside of shops around the world, days before big brands like Adidas or Nike released their new sought-after sneakers, in the hope of buying a pair for themselves, or possibly a couple more to sell on for a large profit.
That's a great investment.
So when news broke that Joe made over $2 million in a year with the help of someone on the inside at Nike, it set off a firestorm in the media, but also explained why he blurs out his face.
All across America, an amazing phenomenon has happened.
The sneakerhead culture emerged in the 1980s in the United States and can be attributed to the success of Michael Jordan and his iconic Air Jordan line of shoes. The early culture of reselling sneakers was very much limited to local areas. However, very serious traders would possibly put an advert in local newspapers.
Allison, can you explain what internet is?
The inception of the internet in the early 2000s, and in particular websites like eBay, exposed the reselling culture to the world, but also created an opportunity for others to sell replicas of highly sought-after footwear.
But then things changed.
The answer to the problem of being duped with fake sneakers was a website called StockX. The process of selling on StockX required the seller to send in the products for authentication. StockX then verifies that the products are in fact legit before sending them on to the buyer. Aside from sneakers, the website was very popular for selling a variety of streetwear. In early 2017, a 15-year-old boy by the name of Joe Hibbert from America's West Coast saw that there was a high demand for a Supreme t-shirt that he possessed, which at the time was fetching 3 times its original value, and presented an opportunity to make some additional money. On the 14th of July 2018, Joe made his first sneaker post on Instagram, showing multiple pairs of the popular Yeezy Boost 350 V2. This garnered attention in the form of trebling the numbers of likes and comments he previously received, as well as the number of followers, giving birth to the persona of West Coast Joe.
We're getting some breaking news.
In March of 2020, the COVID pandemic hit.
Now, a short time ago, the World Health Organization declared the outbreak an international public health emergency.
And all shops and businesses were forced to close.
Nike and Apple among the big names closing retail.
This created an even bigger opportunity for West Coast Joe, as his large reserves were now in higher demand. Things heated up even more in the summer when Adidas released 40,000 pairs of the highly sought-after
350 Zion.
through the Yeezy supply website at 4 a.m. Seeing a further opportunity, Joe and 15 members of his Cook group swarmed the website using bots primed with his American Express credit card details, enabling the team to cheat the system, which limits sales to 1 pair per customer, thus resulting in the stock selling out within hours.
Oh no!
At a cost of $132,000, Joe was primed and ready to take delivery of his secured 600 pairs of Yeezy Zions at his Oregon warehouse, coincidentally the same state where both Nike and Adidas are based. The frenzy surrounding the popularity of these sneakers enabled Joe to sell all 600 pairs within hours of him listing them. Now being viewed by many in the industry as a power broker, Joe set up a separate business by the name of Westbricks. The role of this service was to provide other resellers with early information of when new stock would be released, as well as the availability at locations around the country. This was a subscription service with a fee of $250 a month, which by July of 2020 had over 450 members, further validating the value of the information provided by Joe. During the summer of that same year, Joe's success caught the attention of a reporter by the name of Joshua Hunt of Bloomberg Businessweek. In the subsequent article, Joe is quoted as saying, "Pre-pandemic, I was making an average of around $200,000 a month. But I remember the night when the stimulus checks hit and the Netflix Last Dance documentary on Michael Jordan was released. My sales tripled." Now, this is the point where the house of cards begins to shake. The reporter discovered that the number used by Joe was identified to be owned by someone by the name of Ann Hibbert. Ann Hibbert is the North American Vice President and General Manager of the sportswear giant Nike. The connection to Joe was further confirmed when he submitted a copy of the American Express corporate card statement to the Bloomberg Reporter, which was also in the name of Ann Hibbert. Ann Hibbert was in fact the mother of Joe. When confronted with this evidence, Joe claimed that he received no inside information from his mother and pleaded for her name to be omitted from the up-and-coming article. Upon further investigation, a Nike spokesperson claimed that Ann Hibbert disclosed all relevant information of West Coast Streetwear LLC to Nike in 2018 and that there was no conflict of interest or violations of company policy. On the 5th of March 2021, Ann Hibbert resigned from her position as VP at Nike, following a 25-year career with the company. Now, if we're honest with ourselves, would we have exploited the information available to us if we were in Joe's position? Fortunately for him, his family were in a position of means. However, the flip side to that are the millions of people who do not have the resources afforded to West Coast Joe. Ultimately, this must firmly land on the doorstep of Nike and other big organizations who have perpetuated and fueled this black market that has exploited the average Joe.